Hi friends, welcome to my channel Usman Code. We will be starting on the very same point where we left last time, and that was to access configuration through that console application. And we were accessing that configuration inside the main method, and we will start from that same point today. Okay, so first thing first, we only read a key from configuration. What if that is an object? Right? So let's say we have a test object, and inside test object we have a attribute called key, and that key has a value. Right? So in that case, how we can read that object and the its inner value. For that one, we will be using colon, and we have test object, and that is a way to access configuration from the config file. So test object has a attribute key, so we want to read that one from. Let's double check. So test and key, and let me save. And next would be test and key, and we want to read that test key. Let me press Ctrl S and give it a try, and that should be now. We are able to read that its value. So its value is there inside that key. So this is how we can read the attributes from objects from within appSettings.json file. Another way to read that is, so let me write down the ways we are trying. So let me press Ctrl Z. So that was from the first video, and that is from the second video. Now we want to read the test key, test value from object, test value from object. Let me press Ctrl F5 to see the results. Alright, so now we are again able to get the value from here. So that is coming null because there is no test key. So for that one, as a solution, we can add another key here, and we can pass it as first video. Let me save this one and rerun that once. So now we have value coming from the first video from test key and its value, and that is coming from that object. All right. So that was one modification. The other modification we can say that is a one way to read, but we have few methods inside configuration as well. So let's say test value from obj using GetSection. So we have a method on top of configuration, so that is GetSection, and that section need a string, not this one, and that string should have a same semantics, so we need to provide the key value here as well. So test will be the object and key is its attribute, and if we try to print that one, we should be able to print its value. So let me rerun this one, and this time we should be able to know. So we have first videos, its then its value, and the third is getting the name of that class. We don't need that one because it gives us the values in terms of key pairs. So for the value one, we need to explicitly call value property. So if now we rerun the same code, we should be able to get first video, its value, and its value. So this was the second thing for today's video. Now the third thing, how we can access those configuration from within some other file, some other class, not inside the main method. So this is not an ideal scenario because main method is a starting point of your application. Normally we initialize the main object, layer object of the application from within the main method, and rest of the objects play within that main method. So for that one, I have that test class. So I created that one already. For the test class, we can see we have injected the configuration object here, config interface, and that interface is injection of config inside the constructor. So this is the syntax of dependency injection. So we are injecting that interface inside that constructor, and we will be getting the initialized configuration when we will be um, pulling that object from the provider. All right. For the provider one, first thing first, we need to add some configurations. For that one, I will be having a var service provider, and for that one, I will be using service collection. And that service collection is coming from the dependency injection over here. So we already have not injected, included that package. So that is the third package we need to install. Microsoft.extensions.dependency injection. So we have already installed that one, and with the benefit of that, I can now create a new service collection, and on the top of that I will be calling add singleton. And what is singleton? It will give a single instance every time I will be calling a particular object. So that is a pattern as well, the singleton pattern. All right, so I will be providing that one over test class like this. And the second thing would be the configuration object as well. So because from inside within that test class, we are utilizing our configuration. So for that one, we need to pass that config object as well. So that will be coming from icon of type icon configuration. And for now, we have that object here. We can see that, so we need to pass that. So we can pause this one. And why this one? Because we have loaded the configurations from app setting already inside that object. That object will be returned every time we will be calling iConfiguration as a dependency injection. So the last thing is build service provider method that is required to build all those dependencies, and it this object will keep the list of these dependencies. All right, so at the very bottom, what I will gonna do is I will be pulling the test class object here. So for that one, I will say service provider dot get service, and I will be getting that of type test class, and I can say test class, and you can see that I haven't initialized that one with new keyword. Instead of this one, let's go with that approach for now. That is easy to understand. All right, service provider dot get service, and we are getting the test class object here, and it's saying that first we need to check if service provider is there. So for that one, we can just use all right, no need for that one. So next thing would be to write on the console, or just call the its method, that is test class object dot print config. All right, so here we can put the question mark. If that is null, we can just bypass this one. All right, and what is inside that print config? Inside that one, we are accessing that configuration, the test, not that test key, it's not test. So test object and its value inner key. No, that should be key. Let me confirm again. So test and key, that's fine. All right, let's give it a try and see how it looks now. Okay, so we have first video, its value, its value, its value, right? So for that one, I can just use string interpolation here like this is coming from test class. All right. So just let's give it another try. Okay. So we have first video, its value, and at the end, its value is coming from test class. So that method is executed successfully. So that was the second video around reading configurations from appSettings.json inside a console application in .NET 8. So in the next video, we will see and explore another option. And by option, I means I options pattern. So there is a pattern. There is a way to read those configs and read those configs in terms of strong typed objects. So every configuration will be declared before and its type. So we can put integers, decimals, here inside that config, and those will be converted into a proper typed objects inside our code. So we will see that I options pattern in our coming video. So that was all for this one. And in case of any question or query, do ask me in the comments and see you in the next video.